Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Liberty Action Network TV, Women of Another View. I'm your host, Doreen Finkel, along with Carol Galantine, Barbara from Harlem.
Hello.
And we have another great show for you today.
Hot topics.
Amen.
Right, yes,
Hot topic.
topics.
Right.
You know, the StudentsForABetterFuture.com has been doing a lot with the internet pornography and its connection to human trafficking. And we're going to be describing to you how it is done and what you as a family member or anybody can do to protect your children from this. And then we have a whole host of other things that we're also going to be talking about today. So let's start with the hot topic of human trafficking. And do you guys remember about a few months ago we talked about the Amanda Lynn Winkowski
Yes.
case?
Yes.
Okay.
That poor girl up in New
Yeah.
York, Buffalo.
Yes, she was trafficked and she turned up dead. And so what I want to explain to everybody is that there's a connection between the trafficking and the internet pornography. And it's something like the internet pornography industry makes something like $32 billion a year. And
Reported.
reported, yes.
Yeah, that's true.
And internet porn is easily accessible, and a person
Right there.
can just do it with anonymously. And what I mean by accessibility is if you have, of course, everybody I know has a cell phone, an iPad, or a computer, or an Xbox. Anything that connects, you can pretty much get internet porn on any one of your devices. And this is my cell phone here, okay? All you do is just go to Safari, and you can type up any one of the explicit words and the porn will come up.
Right.
And so because of the accessibility, you have this anywhere, okay? If you're on the job working, there's reports from employers that, people watch it on the job.
What about
Yes.
students?
Students?
That's true.
Any child with a cell phone.
Any child with a cell phone?
If their parents haven't had proper control and blocks on it and filters,
Yeah.
they can access it too.
Yes. So, it's so rampant in our society that you do want to protect.
Get you over it at least.
Yeah. And, I've gotten calls from employers that, people doing it on the job, they're also walking in the street viewing it, and reports from cops that, that a person walking in the street viewing his iPhone or iPad walked into a car.
Wow. I'm not surprised.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
about a year ago, on the Thruway near Buffalo, they had a case where a truck driver was viewing it on his tablet, and he was driving a good excess of 60 miles per hour, and he didn't see a cop car that was parked on the side in the emergency lane, but part of the cop car was still out, and so the truck clipped it and killed the cop.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
And they discovered that after the accident, they took his Kindle or
And they
tablet
looked at what he was viewing.
wow. Oh my
So,
gosh.
that leads to other areas. If you are a train operator, okay? You have passengers that
That's
put
true.
their lives into your hand.
That's right.
It's and you have a cell phone. It's irresponsible of you to view that while you're driving a train or an airplane.
Well, the
Yeah.
same thing with, they don't allow anybody to talk on the cell phone while they're driving. And if it's good enough for people just driving the cars, it should be good enough for people, operating machinery and trains and planes and everything else.
Absolutely.
There has to be there has to be boundaries. There has to be somebody that says, no, this is not right.
That's true.
Yes, and also another area, and law enforcement had said that they have physicians viewing it when they're doing an operation, and there are complaints at the hospitals
Oh
for
my
that.
gosh. Oh no.
Yeah. So,
I would never want one of those doctors.
No.
so
How would you-
but
how would
but
you
we
know?
say that,
How would you know?
right, but we say that,
Right.
but this is how rampant it is,
Mhm.
and this is how it can affect somebody else
Mm. Yes,
who
absolutely.
is an innocent bystander.
True.
So, and
And how
now,
come Doreen is the only one talking about this? Where are
Mm.
the other people? Where are the pulpits, and politicians and statesmen and women talking
True,
about a
true.
subject that is so dangerous?
Yes.
That's gonna change our whole society, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Not
And
in a
it's
good way.
impacted our society
Yes.
already in a very
Yes.
negative way.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
like, as you said, it leads to the trafficking.
Right.
right, because the criminals, of course, wanna make the money, so they set up these whole networks, these rings, they call them. And, you know, and they even train the people how to work in the ring. They train them how to lure the victim,
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
and it's not like it's an open abduction. It's, you know, it is a mind manipulation over the victim.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then once they got their victim, then they say to them, well, you
Their
know,
victim's confidence.
the victim's confidence, yes. Then they might introduce the drugs,
Mhm.
Mm.
you know, and then, you know, and then once they have them hooked on drugs, anything can happen.
Anything. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Anything
But
goes.
pornography is also an addiction.
It is.
Because it starts with maybe one, you know, picture or two, but when it goes into the mind, then it's stamped on the mind, but it's not enough. So that's the same thing with a heroin or alcohol or
Yeah.
something. People that have that propensity for overdoing anything, then they need another picture or more pictures.
Right.
And then it escalates, and then it might get more violent, more bizarre. And where is this gonna go?
Right.
True. True.
Right, where, the question is, where
So
does it
it's-
end?
Yeah,
Where?
to a poor kid like Amanda, or so many other children and young men and women and children that are wrapped up in this horrible crime of sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
where
there's
it
no
ends up.
easy solution, I don't think. You know. it's-
No, but the first step into tackling something like this, well, you're right, it's not an easy solution.
Right.
Let me tell you why it's not an easy solution, then I'll tell you how to fight it. It's not an easy solution because you're taking on a monster,
A well-funded
a
monster.
Yeah.
well-funded and,
And
okay,
well-connected
Well-
That's
connected.
true.
at the
That's
highest
true.
Yes.
levels.
yes, and
Of
it's
our
that and,
government.
my counterparts tell me that I'm taking on capitalism. But listen, it's crony capitalism.
Mhm.
I'm taking on
Cronyism.
crony
Yeah. Yeah.
capitalism, okay?
Mhm.
So they don't see that part, for
Mhm.
one. And then once you understand that it's crony capitalism, then you can see what you can do. And the first thing to overcoming this, the other thing is the Supreme Court in 1978 had said that pornography was a form of speech.
Oh,
So,
right,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
so
That's true.
So the first thing you can do is make the public aware of the connection. It's education is the first thing, the first step you can do. It's like smoking, okay? Smoking leads to cancer, but yet the tobacco companies make tons of money.
That's
Mhm.
true.
Okay, like the porn industry. The porn
Mhm.
industry has made tons of money. So now though you have restaurants pretty much non-smoking, you know,
Mhm. Yes.
for airplanes, non-smoking. and
Smoke-free.
then-
Right,
Yeah,
right,
smoke-free
right, right.
zones.
Yeah.
So you will have to do the same with this now. That's the first step in combating it. And making people aware that when you turn on the internet porn on your computer, please be advised that somewhere, somebody along the way could have been trafficked.
Mhm.
That's true, exploited and all that.
Yeah.
Make the connection. Teach the students the connection. Now, I know what Carol's telling me about Common Core,
Oh,
where they're introducing
Oh,
these
yes.
sex things, so.
yes, they're
On
right
every
along
level,
with
every
pornography.
level, yeah.
Right along with the pornography
Yeah.
in the literature, and you think,
Yeah.
well, it's just gonna be in the literature. They're even promoting in the sciences and the mathematics, problems that incorporate sexual innuendo that
Yeah.
is so unnecessary.
Right. Remember the books that you had about Common Core and those despicable sexually graphic
Yes.
pictures?
Yeah.
I mean, for elementary school
Yes.
children,
Yeah. That was
They
the
really
health
want
and
to
human
brainwash,
sexuality
yes.
standards, right?
yeah.
And what is this doing to the brain? If you're not filling in the brain with all good things and making imprints in your
True.
brain of what is good and righteous and beautiful, which comes from God,
Absolutely.
all right, then you're filling it in with all that's ugly,
That's right.
all that's evil and violent and
Absolutely.
despicable. So what kind of society, what kind of
A
people
scary
is-
society.
Yes.
If something isn't done, if people are not made aware of it, if people don't take the time to really look and see what their children are being taught in school,
Mm.
and they need to attend these meetings so that they can say, no, I don't want my child exposed to this.
Exactly.
We need to reintroduce this country to morality and
Yes.
moral
Amen.
standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the obstacles that are standing in our way is the fact that the Supreme Court protected it, so now it's on the internet as free speech. So
Wow, yeah,
it's kind of like Roe v. versus Wade there,
yes,
because that really isn't free speech, okay? What they did was they called it artistic expression,
Mm.
that's where they
Oh,
called
yes,
it.
okay,
yes.
all right, yeah.
Yeah, but that's so, it has no guidelines, no standards. Artistic,
No.
what does it mean? Artistic
True,
expression,
true,
you know?
true.
What is that with the picture of the Virgin Mary with the elephant dung on it, or the cross in the
Yeah,
bottom of
in the urine.
They called that artistic expression,
Mm,
but don't put Muhammad's name.
They better not, they better
Then it's
not.
blasphemy.
That's right,
Yeah.
That's
that's right,
blasphemy.
that's right,
So where is this, who's making these standards?
right.
That's right, you have to question who makes the standards, and another big thing that came out is the movie 50 Shades of Grey.
I was so clueless about that until like
Yeah,
the Super
yeah,
Bowl
yeah,
Sunday.
yeah. Until I
What
told
is
you.
this movie about?
What is it about?
It's a man, he's very perfect in his ways, and to him, he's perfect sexual, he wants everything in order. And, and he practices S&M on his victim, and the movie sort of portrays that S&M is like a different form of sex, and it should be accepted.
Right, and the
Yeah.
girl in the movie was finding herself or
Mhm.
something
Wow.
through this relationship, through
Yeah.
this S&M relationship with this fellow. And and everybody's reading the book, and now the movie
That's
comes out
insane.
on Valentine's Day, I think it came out.
Yeah, I think I did hear
Mhm.
that, but it's so
And made a ton of money.
insane. We're letting external forces decide for us what's good, what we should read, what we should bring into our home, what we should allow to be on that television coming into our homes, without thinking what's best for me, what's best for my family.
Well, Barbara, you can turn off the TV and delete your subscription from HBO and Comcast
Yes.
and all that. That's number one. In the schools, parental right is the highest point. It's not the
Yeah.
board,
Right.
it's not the teachers, it's the parents. And
Right.
they have to get together and say, this is what we want taught in school.
And this is what we don't
And if
want.
the book at my school district, the Wonderful Life of Oscar Wilde, was about a young man who successfully commits suicide, filled with pornography, filled with all this dark, violent type of stuff. And this is what some school committees said, oh, well, this is a great book for our sophomores
I know.
to read.
Yes.
This is where the moms and the dads,
You need to get off the couch. Don't
Well,
buy
wait,
anything from,
yeah, they're-
don't worry about the next movie.
yeah.
And get up to the
but they're
school.
working, and the families are working the 2 jobs, and they're taking to the Brownies and the Girl Scouts and the sports and the this
Yeah,
and
but
that.
they have to go to the PTA
And they really
meetings.
have to stop
They do.
and take a hard look at what they're sending their children to in that government school.
Right.
Mhm.
If they're not
Right.
homeschooling and parochial schools and private schools
Yes.
are all touched by this Common Core curriculum.
They've all
And
been
of course,
infiltrated
Yes.
by secular
Good word,
humanists.
yes, absolutely.
I mean, even from the pulpits.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things you hear from the pulpit, I mean, are outrageous.
Yeah.
Nothing about morality.
No.
So you have as many people going to church having babies outside of marriage
Mm-hmm.
that you have those who never put their foot in there.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. Things that were
No.
abhorred and kept quiet about, say, 40 years ago in TV, you know, from the 50s, early
Oh, right.
60s, you know, look what the TV's turned into. Why even
Right.
bother having it in the house?
True.
Yeah.
You know, I went to a revival, and I think it must have been about 35 years ago. And this evangelist said he doesn't even have a television.
Yeah.
So he says
He was
it's
ahead
so
of his
much
time.
demonic
Mm-hmm.
stuff coming
Yes.
into your house
Mhm.
that you don't need it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
he's right.
now, my goodness, I can see it.
Yeah.
I have to turn the thing off.
And sometimes I want to say that way about the internet too.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you have to know, you know, how to get around this stuff.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm telling you, I mean, it's so easy to just type in a search word and one of those bad sites come up,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And the connection between the human trafficking is this. You like you said, we have the luring, okay, but it is very, very easy to set up an internet porn site.
I can believe it.
Okay, and I can even show you how it's done. I don't have my computer, but studentsforabetterfuture.com has its own website, okay? All we did was go to Google Blogger, okay? No, you can go to, and you can go to WordPress too, and the files are free. You download the files, okay? And Google Blogger, you don't need a host. That's it. Once you download it,
That's it.
it's a pre-formatted website.
Wow.
Free, okay? And then all you do is you have a private room in your house, okay?
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's how they sell themselves. And, you know, the person who wants to work in the sex industry, that's what they will do. They have a private room in the house,
Wow. And
you know,
that's,
and
go from there.
yes, you can use a service, a credit card service, because the credit cards also make money on this. And, you know, have your clients call in and then their credit card number. Sorry, folks, this is a live TV show, so.
Yes. We have a guard dog on duty.
Yes. So then you can, you know, and then a person who's working in the sex
Yeah.
industry sets up a calling thing for chat. That's how easy it is. And the web developers also make out on this.
Right.
So they're not gonna complain either, because it's paid.
So you know what, the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
People love money so much that they sell their soul.
Yeah. Yes,
They love
exactly
money so much that morality means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the human lives that are being destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the love of money.
Yeah.
But we, you know, if we have a moral conscience, we have to learn how not to support these things.
Yes.
Support whatever they're promoting, don't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Boycott it.
Yes.
We have to be more mindful of where we're spending our money.
Yes. Absolutely.
And if we make an impact on their pockets,
Yeah.
then they'll listen to our voices.
And the human trafficking and the internet porn, again, is a harder one because it's all over the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, if there's so much money to be made, then you have to ask yourself who's benefiting from it. And
Yeah.
it could be some governments,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it could
Right.
be.
Yeah.
you know, and it could be some law enforcement too.
Mm-hmm.
So you always have to know that avenue.
Right.
Scary, isn't it?
It is scary, it is
It
scary.
gets worse too, because behind a lot of this, you know, when the people go missing, and
Yeah.
they end up dead, whether the children, you know, which is so horrible. There's a lot of these pagans and witchcraft and satanic rituals that are also in the background.
I believe it, I believe it. I believe that's what happened to, what was her name, Natalie Holiday?
Now,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I may not be pronouncing her last name correctly, but I kept saying, I said, I wonder if they sold her someplace.
Mm.
Yeah, she was such a beautiful young lady,
mm-hmm,
18 years old, boom.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Holiday, Natalie Holiday, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, not to change the subject, Barb, we only have about 5 minutes left. CPAC. Tell me all about it.
CPAC was wonderful, beautiful gathering of conservative people, and what was so inspiring that so many young people were there. And on Saturday, Mark Levin was there, and he was the keynote speaker for the day. And I got to take a picture with him, of course, and his wife was there with him.
Ah.
So it was a beautiful time. And then let me tell you about Friday at the Federal Reserve. Janet Yellen, we had an opportunity to sit in a room with her and talk about the economic situation of today. You know, and the point was that the liberals aren't the only ones that care about average people
Right.
and what's going on when you go to the supermarket. So I was very privileged to be able to speak for 2 minutes before Chair Lady Yellen.
Oh,
And
fabulous.
it was a mixture of people from the economists were there with the PhDs and common people were there such as myself, and that was beautiful also.
Oh, wow.
It was a lovely time this weekend that we had there in Washington, Maryland, and Virginia, because we stayed in Virginia, my daughter and I. So it was very fruitful and met some of the loveliest people. And CPAC is just a great opportunity for conservatives to come together and plan a strategy and effectively work together so we can change our country to the way, in the course and the manner where it should be going.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Rather than to the,
Extreme left and Marxism and socialism, that's not America.
ultimately, that means less freedom for
Absolutely,
everyone.
absolutely.
They think that they're under the mistaken idea that it's gonna be more free.
No.
No, you get more chains of slavery
Absolutely.
with more of the liberal secular humanists, because they've got, we've got a problem here, we have to make some rules about it, some laws
Absolutely.
about it, and laws and more laws.
Oh,
and laws and, yeah.
Because lack of
Yes.
morality, where we have
means
to
a lot.
govern ourselves properly with our
Yeah.
own good conscience.
that's right. And another thing I forgot to mention, you know, my book is still in the final stages. We were able to give some people a little taste of it, chapters 1 and 2,
Oh,
to get them interested.
Oh,
Even some publishers were there, and hopefully we'll be getting some good feedback from them.
Good. Excellent.
Give them a little taste
Yeah.
of breaking free. Yes.
wow.
So it was fabulous, and thank God my friend Cornelia and John, they worked CPAC over with Breaking Free, Barbara from Holland, Breaking
Yeah.
Free.
Oh, great.
So wonderful to have good friends.
Mhm.
Wow, that
Yeah.
sounds so cool.
It was exciting.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope we take an exciting path that can bring some really good conservative results.
Absolutely.
Constitutional results.
Absolutely. That's why I'm anxious for my book to get out too, because I hope it'll touch some hearts, some people who don't know how to pull a lever for someone with integrity because of whatever party they belong to. Breaking Free allows you to pull the lever for the best person for this country, and the best person who's in line with the Word of God.
Yes.
Because
That's the
God
key. Yes.
is our provider, and He is the one who blessed this nation so tremendously. Man didn't do it, man cannot do it.
That's right.
We have to go back to basics.
Yeah.
You do.
10 of them. 10 rules.
Got that,
Yeah.
got that right. So all's well.
Yep, okay, folks, we're out of time again.
Thank you so
Boy,
much.
that went quick.
Yes, it
Um,
did.
So I'd like to thank you for watching this episode on behalf of Carol Galentine, Barbara from Harlem, myself, and Sweet Pea.
Amen.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Thank you for watching us, and we will see you
And
next time.
thank you, Doris.
Thank you. Thank you, Doreen.